By the way, being what we just said about we're looking at the irony of the fact that and I'm certain that I'm certain he knows it, but the irony, there was something ironic in an early speech Obama gave when he was campaigning. There's something ironic in it, which is that he was saying, well, what Bush is doing, he's consolidating power in the executive branch, and you don't want a president to be too powerful. Being that the country that they had launched a war and everything, I mean, the crowd, reacted to that well. But it's an ironic statement, because I'm saying with a president in power that wants to that is doing things like healthcare and would care about. I mean, you'd want with the Congress and Senate being the way it is, in a perfect world, and the public being the way it is, what you'd want in a perfect world is for us is to have a president like Obama, with got an all-powerful executive branch with just a power, the whole, with just a shut down Congress and the public out of the decision-making process. That's why it's it'd be an ironic comment to make, for him to make while he's campaigning. But here's the thing about that you just directed me to, that being the topic. What do we do? I mean, that's what you want. But the hell was I gonna say? I think this thing is so fucking confusing. I think it's so fucking confusing. But we can't have. I mean, we can't. You want that, but you can't know how to get it. So, huh? I didn't get it. Right. Oh, right. Abraham Lincoln. One of the things, when John Wilkes Booth shot him, and he yelled out "Death to tyrants," Okay. One of the things that people who didn't like Abraham Lincoln, they saw that they saw what he one he want he wanted he had made a very strong centralized state that could enact, and it's one reason he burned, like, through the generals were burning their way through the South, and Lincoln said that either this country will be all one thing or it will be nothing. And I think it's the only war in, maybe even, I don't know, like, history or something, where a nation destroyed the entire infrastructure of part of its own country. I mean, I'm not sure that's ever happened in any other war. Why? And he knew that you need an incredibly strong centralized state to do two things. Ending slavery was first and foremost because it's an affront to humanity. But the secondary thing is the British Empire wanted this to be a slave colony. What it wanted is us to be a raw material supplier to the British Empire, not industrialized, and they wanted it to be like the South, to have slavery. What Lincoln wanted to do was end slavery, but also to have an incredibly strong centralized state that could close the markets. So a protectionist policy of closing the markets, so that we would not be a raw material supplier to Great Britain and a slave plantation, but rather we could industrialize. Okay, and ending slavery. Okay, and he was accused of being a tyrant, and good that he was. He was an incredibly strong centralized government that consolidated its power and was carrying out its agenda, ending slavery, closing the markets. You know, that's what he was doing, right? I mean, you'd want that now, because but what thing is, in some sense, back then, when Lincoln was president, I don't know. You didn't even. It wasn't this bad with the Congress. Like, he had a legislature that wasn't this. We have an actual. It's as though the entire legislative branch is just a structure that doesn't function. And the public, when the country was founded, it was founded on the idea that there would be the government for an informed population who knew the issues of the day intelligently and could discuss them amongst themselves. But that was the idea of what kind of government we would have. That's why that was like a premise of the kind of government we were founding. Right now, you have a completely a public that is uninformed about things, and their mental architecture about political things is coming right out of PR firms, and they are narcissistic, windbags who don't care about anything playing in it. Okay, right. I mean, the only way to move forward would be to if Obama could only do what Abraham Lincoln did, and just consolidate power to the executive and move forward. I mean, but that's what you'd want. But I mean, it's why Abraham Lincoln was called a tyrant when he was assassinated. Booth screamed death to tyrants, and good that he was. I mean, that's the only way.